In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what Medicare's recent announcement means for your Part D drug coverage, why the subsidy is ending, and whether it means you are going to be paying more or not next year.
Holy Schmidt!
When there's an announcement out of Washington, there are two things that you can count on. The first is that first-day headlines tend to overstate certain facts. The second is that the truth ends up being a lot less scary, usually, and occasionally a lot more scary. And that's what we're going to talk about now. First, let's get the truth on the table so everyone's clear. Medicare Part D is not going away. Your drug coverage is not disappearing on January 1st. What actually happened is a lot less dramatic than what's out there, and frankly, it's useful for you to understand so that you can navigate the months ahead. Here's where the story starts. On July 28th, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the government agency that runs Medicare, put out its yearly Part D numbers. And inside that announcement was a line item. That line item said the Part D premium stabilization demonstration is coming to an end. And this is more or less what the headlines are talking about. A temporary program is ending on schedule, as it was intended to end. Now, in order for you to understand whether this is a big deal or not, you need to know one thing, and that is why this provision was put in the first place. And it came about because of the Inflation Reduction Act in 2022, the IRA, a very confusing acronym for obvious reasons. This one law changed the rules for Medicare drug coverage. The first thing it did was eliminate the donut hole, which tended to have costs spike mid-year for drug coverage. A good thing. The second thing is it put a cap on maximum out-of-pocket for drug costs. In 2026, that cap is $2,100, up from $2,000 in 2025. Now, those were big wins for people on Medicare, but somebody had to pay for those big wins. The group paying for them? Insurance companies. And drug manufacturers took a hit as well, but the biggest hit was insurance companies. They were out billions of dollars. Now, if you're an insurance company and you all of a sudden are on the hook for a much larger share of the bill, you only have a few options. You can raise premiums, you can cover fewer drugs, you can reduce the size of your pharmacy network, or you can offer fewer plans. Or you can leave the Part D drug business altogether. And that is what a lot of insurance companies did. So every headline you've seen about Part D over the last 2 years, the higher premiums, the drop plans, the agents disappearing, they all trace back to this one change. It's the root of the whole story. So the scariest part to all of this, believe it or not, isn't the premium increase. It's the number of competitors offering Medicare Part D. Let me give you the actual numbers so you understand the magnitude. A few years ago, there were 709 Medicare Part D plans. In 2025, the number had dropped to 464, and in 2026, down to 360. In 2021, the average person had 30 different Medicare Part D choices. Today, fewer than 15. And the person who gets hurt the most. There's a special category for low-income earners. These people have a zero-cost plan, and they have what are called benchmark plans. Back in 2021, the average low-income earner had 8 different benchmark plan choices. Today, they have 2. And it's not just the smaller insurance companies that are leaving the market. For 2026, Anthem and Cigna, for example, have either cut plans or left regions altogether. They've refocused their energy into Medicare Advantage plans. Still, there are 23 million people that are on these standalone Part D drug plans. And this shrinking, by the way, has been going on for years. It's been driven by the cost of drugs, by that 2022 law changing the rules, by companies merging together, and by insurers shifting their focus to Medicare Advantage. Now, the temporary program was always going to end, but they needed to put it in place to prevent bad things from happening. In 2024, with new rules in place, insurance companies were about to raise Part D premiums in a big way heading into 2025, and the math was ugly. So the government stepped in with a temporary fix. It set aside $9.8 billion to help the insurance companies ease into the new rules. How much did it help? Quite a bit, actually. According to MedPAC, the group that advises Congress on Medicare, this program lowered the average standalone drug plan premium by about $26 a month in 2025 and about $16 a month in 2026. But it was always designed to be 2 years, 2025 and 2026, just long enough for insurance companies to learn how to price their plans. And by the way, this type of thing isn't new. This is just the government stepping in to stabilize shaky markets. All right, let's talk about what's going to actually happen in 2027. Now that the temporary subsidy is ending, there's one important number that's going up. It's called the Part D base beneficiary premium. Every year, Medicare calculates this benchmark amount based on what private insurance companies expect it will cost to provide standard prescription drug coverage. The number comes from the insurance companies. For 2026, the base premium was $38.99. For 2027, CMS says it will be $41.33. So the increase is $2.34 a month. Now your own plan premium can go up more or less than that. We'll talk about why that is in a minute. But the piece of news that started all of this panic is that a benchmark is going up less than $3 a month. Gang, Medicare can be confusing. It can be overwhelming. Ask anybody who's age 65 or older and they will tell you that it's true. They'll spend hours of time analyzing the perfect plan. They'll get the plan only to find that they forgot something or they made a mistake, costing them hundreds or thousands of dollars a year. Now on this channel, we have 3 affiliate relationships. One is our trusted Medicare partner, Chapter. Chapter is the only national Medicare advisor that looks at and recommends every plan. They're totally free to you. They save their clients an average of $1,100 per year. Using them doesn't raise your premium or cost you any more, and they take about 20 minutes of your time. If this is of interest to you, give them a call at 440-703-1224 to see if they can help. Now, on the exact same day, January 1st, 2027, the cost of 15 expensive drugs will get cheaper. Here's an example of several of them. Look at that first one, Tradjenta. It's a common diabetes drug, and a month of it went from $488 down to $78. Janumet, another diabetes drug, went from $526 down to $80. Ozempic and Wegovy, names you have definitely heard of in the weight loss area, went from $959 a month down to $274. And Trelegy, a breathing medicine, went from $654 down to $175. And across all 15 categories, costs are down about 44% compared to the 2024 prices. Now, to be fair, so I'm not overselling the benefit here, these are the prices that Medicare will pay, the maximum Medicare will pay for the drug, not what you will pay. What you personally will pay at the pharmacy will still depend on your plan and what stage of coverage you have. So prices will vary from the ones that I just gave you. But make no mistake, prices coming down is good news for the entire system. And there's more coming after that. The first round of drugs got cheaper in 2026. This round hits in 2027. And another set of negotiated drug prices is already lined up for 2028. So this is not a one-time thing. Now, there are still some things that can go wrong. I want to make sure that we understand that. With the temporary help gone, insurance companies now have the same levers that they had before. Some could drop certain drugs from their covered list, which is called the formulary. Some could change which pharmacies you're allowed to use. Any of those could potentially shift more costs onto you. The important thing is that right now nobody has the full picture yet. So when you hear information out there, a lot of it is just opinion. The real numbers will be published in September, and no one's allowed to really talk to you about them until October 1st. So if anyone tells you today what your 2027 numbers will look like, they're just guessing. So let me answer the question that you're probably asking right now, will I pay more in 2027? Well, the answer is nobody knows. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe a few dollars more. And some people might actually come out a bit ahead because the new drugs that are being discounted could offset any type of premium increase, at least for some people. Now, the one mistake I don't want you to make, because the fear factor is going to happen. Everything we just talked about, the end of the subsidy, the Part D prescription drug bump, is Part D. We're talking about Part D only. It doesn't work the same way for drug coverage that comes built into a Medicare Advantage plan. This temporary program was aimed squarely at Part D drug coverage, which is linked to a Medigap plan. Advantage plans use something called rebates to keep their drug premiums looking low. So on paper, an Advantage plan's drug premium can look cheaper, sometimes even zero. But here's what you need to watch out for. Salespeople know that this change is coming, so it's important for you to understand exactly what is changing and the financial effect. Oftentimes they'll show you an Advantage plan, and sometimes it's the right choice, oftentimes it's not. But it comes with a gym membership, or it comes with limited dental coverage. Now, it's important to note that I'm not against Advantage plans. For some people, it's a great fit. I'm also not against Medigap plans, Medicare supplement plans. Again, for some people, it's a great fit. They work differently and they fit different lives. What I don't want you to do is give up coverage that you love and need just because someone has given you a lower drug premium. Don't make a big permanent decision over a small monthly number. All right, enough big picture. Let's make this practical. What should you actually do? Step 1 is read your annual notice of change. Every fall, your plan mails you a letter showing what is changed for next year. Most people toss it. Do not toss it. That letter tells you if your premium, your drug list, or your pharmacies are changing. Step 2, from October 15th through December 7th, you can compare and switch drug plans. This is a period where you have a lot of power. Step 3, check the drug list. And if you take a common drug, see if the price has gone down. You could see a real drop in cost, and knowing that information might mean that there's another plan out there that has better coverage for what you need. And step 4, get honest before you switch anything. Especially if you're on original Medicare and a supplement plan, don't jump to an Advantage plan just because of a lower drug premium. If you like this video, check out that video. The cheapest Medicare plan at age 65 can be the most expensive at age 85. Also, if you have questions about Medicare, don't forget to give Chapter a call, 440-703-1224. This is Geoff Schmidt, and I will see you in that video right there.